Hey, welcome back to another CDL B-side. Okay, so, oh man, what are we going to talk about today? Well, okay, so first off, for those of you who are wondering what are these on my face, these are safety glasses. They're prescription safety glasses. I got them at VisionWorks, surprisingly. They had them. I thought I was going to like order them online. But I had like my yearly, eye checkup or whatever they call it come up, and I was like, hey, you guys got anything for like, safety glasses? Because one of the things I was having trouble doing was I was having trouble finding a pair of glasses that would stay on my face and not slide off. And they had some pair called Flex On, which I have now, but they're more for my at home. But the problem I was having was that working highway maintenance, I do a lot of shoveling. There's a lot of like bending over to do different things, and the glasses would constantly slide off my face. So went to VisionWorks, asked them, hey, do you guys got anything like safety glasses or anything like that? Because I do construction. And the lady was like, oh yeah, we do. It's called I believe it was called On Guard. It's like their like brand of like safety glasses. And yeah, they had these in their prescription. They do the thing like we're out in the day and they start to tint up, the transition, that's what it's called. So they're transition and their prescription, because I need glasses to drive, because I'm nearsighted, so I gotta have my glasses to drive. So yeah, these actually work out really great. There are some times where like I get off work and like I might go to the store or something like that, and people will look at me strange, and I'll totally forget that I have these safety glasses on. So that's the reason why people are looking at me weird. But yeah, they serve a purpose, and yeah, they keep my eyes safe. So what I want to get into today is I know in a couple videos I was talking about the beginning of my journey, getting my CDL, getting into the job market. And so basically this one's going to be about how I got into working for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, because that was a bit of a journey in itself. So the crazy thing is that I had worked a couple private jobs, which I told you guys about in my other videos. And I applied for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Now, I should have known that this was going to be a long process. Like, I should have known that, because it's the government. I don't know what the saying or the joke is about the government taking, a long time to do stuff, but it's like that in every aspect of the government. It takes them a long time to do things. So I had applied, waited maybe about a month, got an email to schedule an interview, waited like 2 weeks, had the interview. It was an over the phone interview because of COVID. And during my over the phone interview, they asked me like an array of questions, like where'd you go to CDL school, and can you drive manual, can you do this, can you do that? One of the things that the lady on the phone had asked me is, do you know how to double clutch? Now, mind you, folks, all right, I didn't lie, per se. I didn't lie. Here's the thing. I didn't know what double clutching was. So I said, yeah, I know how to double clutch, because I'm thinking that the splitter was double clutching. Yes, I thought that, for you guys who drive manual, and you might drive like a semi and it's got 10 speeds, so you get up to 5 and then you split her up and then you shift 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I thought that was double clutching. So I didn't lie when I said, yeah, I know how to double clutch. I didn't know what double clutching was. So he says, okay, and they scheduled me for a road test, and that was like another 2 weeks for the road test. So I go and take the road test, and I failed. I failed the road test. Because the thing was that when I was in CDL school, they didn't teach me how to double clutch. They taught me how to single clutch. And when I tell people now that I learned how to single clutch in a semi, they look at me strange. They're like, what? You know how to single clutch in a semi? How do you do that? And when I was in CDL school, the instructor, he would do this thing where he would snap his fingers. So he would sit there and go, clutch, shift, split her up, clutch, shift. So I learned how to single clutch. I didn't learn how to double clutch. So when I'm taking my road test, And luckily this transmission was a little beat. This truck they put me in, I was able to single clutch for a while. And I got up to like 5th gear and I'm going down the road. And then I needed to downshift. And I've always been terrible at downshifting. Oh, I'm so bad at downshifting. I mean, I've got it now, but back then I was absolutely terrible at downshifting. So I go to downshift and I couldn't get it back into gear. I didn't know what to do. I went in like full on panic mode and I couldn't get it back into gear. And the guy was like, pull over. And I pulled over and we switched seats. And he had to drive us back to the yard. So I ended up failing. But while he was driving us back to the yard, I was watching everything that he was doing. And I was asking him questions. So he saw my interest in learning how to properly drive the trucks and my interest in really wanting the job. So what he did was he told me about this job that they have called a TIOT. And TIOT is Transportation Equipment Operator Trainee. So, and he told me to go ahead and apply for that. So I said, okay. So I get home, tell the wife I failed. She's absolutely upset. Me, I'm just like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'll find something, I'll get them next time. And I went online and I looked for the Transportation Equipment Operator Trainee. And it wasn't there at first. But what I did was I kept on checking every day. So eventually it pops up. And I'm like, okay, I apply. And once again, it's the government. So there's a wait. So probably, but this wait wasn't as long though, because I already had the CDL. So I think that's what kind of really helped me out. So the wait wasn't that long. So I see it, I apply, go through the whole process over again. The phone interview, once again, no road test because it's a trainee program. Get my start date. And when I come in, first person I talked to was the assistant manager, the assistant county manager. And right now, well, now he's the county manager, but back then he was the assistant county manager. He got a promotion. So the way he explains everything to me is he made it sound like this was going to be a pretty quick process because I already had my CDL. So he made it sound like it was going to be a pretty quick process. I was going to come in and I was going to do the flagger job, which I'll discuss in probably another video, the flagger job. I was going to do a little bit of labor, and then I was going to go ahead and start training. Well, he made it sound like this stuff was going to happen like boom, boom, boom. Nope. I had to wait 4 months before my training started. So I'm making trainee pay, which wasn't much. I think it was like close to like $15 an hour or something like that. Have a CDLB in my pocket, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting 4 months to basically learn how to drive a truck and get certified. Because when you work for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, even if you have a CDL, you can't just drive their trucks right off the bat. Nah, you got to get certified to drive their trucks, which I think is part of the reason why a lot of people don't take the job when it comes to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. They have good benefits. The pay isn't as much as the private sector. It is significantly less than, I guess, what you could make in the private sector. But I think a lot of the time, the reason why people don't take the job is because you have to go through that certification process, and people find it to be pretty ridiculous. I found it to be pretty ridiculous at first, but like I said, I didn't know how to double clutch, so I was pretty interested. I was also interested in getting that training. So basically, the certification process is CDL school all over again. That's what it is. It's CDL school all over again. You have to learn your pre-trip, your air brake test, your skills, and your driving. It's CDL school all over again. So basically, I've gone to CDL school twice. Yeah, I've been to CDL school twice. And within that process, I learned how to double clutch. I finally learned how to do it. And for those of you who don't know what double clutch is basically, let's say you're in second gear, you're going to clutch in, shift to neutral, clutch in, shift to third. You know what I mean? You hit the clutch twice. That's double clutch. And it took me a while to get the hang of it. I mean, there were times where I was in that training and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do it. It took me a while to get the hang of it. I was getting frustrated. Once again, I was stressing like crazy, thinking that, I'm not going to pass because you have to get tested. And it's just like your CDL school test. So yeah, there was a lot of stress. My nerves were getting to me, and yeah, I was getting ready to just walk away. It came time for my testing, and once again, it's just like CDL school. You had 3 chances to pass, and I kept telling myself, you got 1 shot. You got 1 shot to pass. And I kind of told myself, I was like, listen, if you don't pass, just walk away. If you don't pass, just walk away. You got the CDL already. You got the CDL. You got some endorsements. Just walk away. You'll find something. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm like, you can't walk away from this. This is a good job. You need this job. Just do your best, get through it. So I take my test, and as you can see, I'm still here. I passed. And so now I am what they call an operator, an A operator. Also, while you're in training, you're going to learn a machine called a loader. I had no idea what a loader was. None at all. Because once again, I knew nothing about trucking. I knew nothing about highway maintenance, construction, or any of that. And I knew nothing about heavy equipment. So when they sat there and told me, oh, you're gonna learn how to operate a loader, I had to Google what a loader was. I really had to Google what this thing was. And then when I got on the job, I actually saw the machine. I Googled it, saw what it looked like, and then I saw the machine. It's not a bad machine to operate, actually. It's actually really quite easy to operate, depending on which one you have, because we have like this JCB, and that thing is so jumpy. It's so sensitive and so jumpy. We also have a Hyundai loader, and that one's a lot better. It's not as jumpy. The JCB, you turn the steering wheel even like a centimeter, and the whole thing just wants to jump to whichever way you turn the steering wheel. It's crazy, especially when you're trying to drive on the road with this loader and it's jumping around like that. But it's not bad. But basically, like I said, that training program took me 4 months to get in, and it was ADL school all over again. But I would suggest that people, come and work for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. It's not a bad job. You learn a lot of skills. I've learned a lot. Oh my goodness, I learned so much. Simply obvious things that I probably should have already known. But yeah, coming here, I learned a lot. And I said, it's got the good benefits to it. So, it's not a bad job. The pay isn't great, but it's something. And like I said, just benefits to it. So, not a bad job at all. And here's the other thing. You don't need a CDL license. I wish I would have known this. I really wish I would have known this. You don't need your CDL license. All you have to do is get your CDL permit, and they will pay you to get your license. They will pay for you to get your license. Because, there are people who have come in with a CDL B permit, and they start off as a trainee, like I did, and they get sent out to this place called The Gap. I believe it's in Gap, PA, but here they just call it The Gap. And they pay for them to be in a hotel room. You get like a, what's that thing called where they give you money for meals? Whatever that's called. They give you some money for meals. And you're getting paid your trainee rate while you're there, while you're out at The Gap, training to get your CDL. Now, I believe they switched it up a little bit. Because here you hear stories about how it used to be and things like that. So, but I know from what I was told was you go out to this area called The Gap with your CDL permit. They train you and they get you licensed, and then you have to go back to your yard, and then you have to get certified to drive their trucks at your yard. And I know it's a ridiculous process. It's ridiculous that you would already have your CDL and still need to go through CDL training, meaning as though your CDL is issued by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. But when you work for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, you have to go through their training in order to be certified to drive their trucks. So it's pretty ridiculous, but that's government. That's government for you. You know, they do things, you know, they take their sweet time doing things, and then they do things, you know, the hard way. So yeah, but that's what I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.